How's it going all? Welcome back to the shed. The original plan for this weekend was possibly wet sand the tank down and start polishing it. That still might be on the cards. And maybe a little start up. However, when I finished recording the video last weekend, as I was uploading it, I thought, obviously with the whole stance thing wasn't quite exactly where I wanted it. I thought I'll just casually have a little look on eBay, see what's about, and lo and behold, it must be fate. But Destination Triumph in Guildford, I think. Literally, I typed in Bonneville forks, and I think normally you can pick up a pair of aftermarket stanchions for £100 each, so sort of 200, 220-ish. I think that there seems to be about that kind of price, which is kind of quite a bit rich for me, really. But they had, as you can probably see behind me, actual Triumph stanchions. These are Bonneville SE or Bonneville T100. They were, I think I ended up paying, if you bought more than one, obviously it's handy to have two fork legs. I think they were like 60 something quid each, including postage. So I thought, you know what, that's quite a good price. I'm not going to see them, I don't think, much cheaper than that for brand new Triumph parts. So I bought them and they've turned up. So this weekend we will instead be dismantling the forks again and see if I can satisfy my niggle with the stance. I think it just needs to be a little bit lower. I've said before, I like the kind of like the K-Speed customs, like I think they call it the Black Bulldog. That is pretty slammed. That's quite extreme slammed. But I like that look, and that's kind of what I'm going for. We'll see. We're just going to see. I thought that was just weird that as I was uploading the video, I had a quick search and bang, that was up there, and I thought fate has dealt me that. It's landed on my lap in a sense. So let's just get on with it. So I'm just going to shut up, turn the camera on, strip down the front end, and let's get playing.
And before that, from 1972, from Exile on Main Street, Rolling Stones with Tumbling Dice, recording for this album. Began in 1969 in England during the sessions for Sticky Fingers.
Thankfully that one came off easier when than they originally were on there. Just a nice short, sharp shock. If you remember the first time I stripped these down, that was an impact gun job. There we go. So a dismantled fork, ready for the shorter stanchion. So that's obviously the new Bonneville stanchion compared to the America stanchion. Bonneville spring, America spring. Obviously that's the extra spring I've put on the damper rod to lower it. Yeah, I could probably do some maths, but maths is not my strong point. What I intend to do is just keep the amount I've lowered it on the damper rod there, pop that into the Bonneville fork stanchion, kind of assemble them, pop them on the bike, and then work out which spacer spring arrangement is going to get me what I need, pretty much. So yeah, sort of a bit of trial and error. I'm sure there's a far more efficient way of doing it, but that's the way my little brain's going to get around it. So just for info, America stanchion is 710 millimeters. Bonneville is 604. Spring, America spring, 40, yeah, 5, 6, 7, about 48, no, 480 millimeters. Bonneville 310. So yeah, right, let's get them together. So we might have to revisit the damper rod spring and maybe shorten it a little bit. That's probably a little bit too slammed for my liking. Okay then, so obviously the 4-inch spring is going to be a little bit too mighty for this application. I've also got the stock ones which are 1-inch springs, and then the other ones that I made up which are the 2-inch springs. So I'm going to try the 2 inches and see what we get. Who knows, we might end up using the originals, obviously with the shorter stanchion, but yeah, let's try the 2 inches and see what happens. Right then, the 2-inch springs, giving us that much. Obviously that's not loaded or anything, so but I'm going to go with that. Do the other side and then start fine-tuning things. But that's yeah, that's pretty much the very similar to the old K-Speed Bonnie's type of stance, which was the look I'm after. Second leg again, and yeah, luckily enough that just broke free. I don't know if I said it on the first one, but so there's a bit of preload and tension on these because the spaces I have to quite squash them down, but that's actually helped. So I've left the top caps on, and that's pushing all down on the damper rod, which is kind of helping it not to turn when I can just break off the, not literally break off, but just nip the nut out there. You see the balls coming through now, but yeah, so that was holding it all together, so it just makes life a bit easier. Again, not having the pain that I had before with it spinning, even with a homemade tool down there, having to get the impact gun on it. But, there we go. Anyway, I'm making a mess, so let's drain this one off. Okay then, everything's kind of loosely together. Just to have a little look at the stance. I've got to tighten all the bolts and align the forks and everything, but stance wise I'm quite liking it. I haven't got any oil in there yet, but yeah, it's chucking it down outside, so in terms of getting outside to have a little stand back, I'm going to have to just have a little bit of patience for a moment, but just looking at it, it's got that squat squished look now. Just hoping the back is is nice. I've taken some of the preload, all of the preload out of the rear shocks just to make the seat sit a bit lower. But yeah, this is going to be a bit of tweaking. But from the cramped confines of the shed, it's certainly not leaning over as far. Yeah, I'm a bit happier with that so far. But when this blooming rain stops, I'll get outside and have a better look. Okay, the rain stopped, but a little bit of snow in the air. So but whilst I've got a chance, just have a quick look at the stance. That rhymes, nice. And yeah, I'm really happy with that now. That just sits perfectly for me. So happy days. Yeah, much happier with that. As any female who knows me will say, that little inch makes all the difference. there we go then. So I think I'm happy for now. Yeah, I was much keener on the stance when we had a little look outside just now. Yeah, it's I think 29 inches from the top of the tube, not the cap, down to the centre of the axle, which is, I think, if I remember, that's 3/4 shorter than the Bonnie one. But obviously the lowers and everything, and I don't know the damping rods, whether they're all slightly different from model to model. Well, I mean, I know they are different, so whether that has whatever effect. But regardless, we've got the Bonnie stanchions in the America lowers, 2 inches on the damper rods. I'm not sure. Bonneville springs, I'm not sure how much shorter the spaces are than stock. I've chopped up all of them so much, I have no recollection of what was stock anymore. But yeah, it feels nice. So I won't know completely until it has a test ride. Nothing seems to be with, sort of aggressive up and down, nothing's bottoming out or any issues from a static point of view. So yeah, there we go, we'll call that done. Yeah, thanks for watching. Who knows what next weekend will bring. I do need to just pull my finger out and get the wet and dry out. I don't know, I've never actually used the polishing pads. I mean, I haven't got a dual action polisher per se. I've seen some pads that you can put on your orbital sander to polish. There is a little bit of me that is slightly nervous about putting a buffing power tool to the paintwork because there's more chance of burnage. But that versus buffing it up by hand, I don't know. Let's get it wet sanded first, and then we get ever closer to hopefully starting it. But yes, I don't think now, in all fabrication stance wise, I think we're all good. So there we are. Thanks for watching, take it easy, see you next time.